Welcome to MBA Solutions. I am Manjunath, working as an assistant professor at VVC Mysuru. In this video, let us discuss the history or evolution of organizational development. Before going into the video, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive more notifications. In our previous video, we discussed two major stems or background of OD evolution, that is T group training and action research and survey feedback. In this video, let us discuss normative background. So what is this normative background? That we will discuss in the evolution of OD. So normative background, what is norm or normative? Normative means people or make people obey rules or norms. So how organizations or managers make the people or the employees obey the rule or the norms of the organization. This normative belief was clarified in research that are associated with two major research were done, and this normative belief was clarified based on these two researchers. One is Likhart's participative management style, Blake Moulton's grit. So these two researchers or research gave us some idea and gave us some inputs on normative belief, these two research. So now let us discuss these two research one by one. Now the first one is Likhart's participative management. So Likert did a survey of various employees in different organizations, and he came out with four management system or four types of management system. So in that, the first one is exploitative authoritative system. So when he did survey, he found that the management system can be divided into four different categories. And in that, the first category he explained was exploitative authoritative system. As the name indicates, it is very authoritative. So a lot of authority will be there with the top level management, and it is exploitative also. Based on that authority, they use the employees in an exploitative way to make them work. So this is exploitative authoritative system. So let us see what happens in this particular system. So here people or the management, top level management or any manager will have a lot of authority, and it is always top down approach. So they utilize their authority. Employees will not have any chance of giving any inputs to the manager level employees, and it is a top down approach. That means only managers or top level management will insist, will give instructions. It is not bottom up approach. And employees motivation or employee motivation is based on punishment and occasional reward. So if employee does any mistake, there is a lot of punishments, and reward is occasional. Not every time, whenever they do good job they get rewards, but reward is occasional. And very little teamwork or less lateral interaction. That means teamwork will be very less, and other departments are also will not intervene or will not interact or collaborate with the other departments. Each department might not collaborate with the other departments because it is very rigid system in nature. Decision making resides on top management. So whatever decision comes, it comes through only top management, and this kind of system leads to mediocre performance, that is average performance. Out of maybe fear, out of getting punished, people or employees might work. So this is exploitative authoritative system, where they use or managers use very strong authority given to them, and they make sure that people obey rules norms of the organization, and they make decisions. Top level management make decisions, and motivation is purely based on punishment and occasional rewards. Now let us see what is the next approach. So second approach, second system, what he explained was benevolent authoritative. Benevolent authoritative means similar to system 1. Benevolent is a small freedom is given. It is almost similar to system 1, but management is more paternalistic in nature. So management tend to take some paternalistic, means they try to take some care about the employees, paternalistic. And in paternalistic, they pretend that they are taking care of the employees, But here one thing is they don't allow the employees to grow. That is what the problem with paternalistic kind of management style or leadership style. Management is more paternalistic in nature. They take care of the employees to some extent, and they make sure that that care is also visible to employees. That is paternalistic. And here little more interaction will be there, little more communication will be there, little more decision making will be there. That means a small freedom is given to the employees to communicate, to interact, and to say something about the decisions, but within the boundaries of the limit or the management, or within the boundaries of the top level management. So management will have a certain set of boundary, and within that boundary they can communicate, interact, and take decisions. Apart, beyond that boundary they cannot cross. And this paternalistic says that they take care of their employees like a parent, and they make sure that these employees does not grow too much. These employees have to depend on the top management always. So this is how benevolent authoritative work. So for example, paternalistic, you may take the example of many political parties in India, where the top level management seems to taking care of the of all the people who belong to that political party, but most of the time they dictate lot of terms. Top management dictate lot of terms to everybody who is a part of the that particular political party. So paternalistic is they try to show that we are taking care of you, but most of the time the employees or the followers does not grow too much, and within that particular set of boundary framed by the top management they are supposed to work. Next, that is consultative system. The third system explained by Likert. Consultative system is, as the name indicates, the management will consult. Here there is an increase in employee interaction, communication, and decision making. So compared to the other two systems, here a bit increase in employee interaction, communication, and decision making with the top management, with the higher level employees. And employees were consulted, as the name indicates, they were consulted for problems and decision making. So if the organization have any problem, or organization wants to take any decision, they will consult these people, but management makes final decision. Here the employees were not given the authority or not given the powers to take any decision. Management will make final decisions. Only for consulting they take the consultation of the employees. Productivity is good and employees are moderately satisfied with the organization. So this kind of system where productivity is good and employees are moderately satisfied, because at least our management or top level management is asking some inputs from us, whether they take decision according to our inputs or not, but still they are asking. Because of that they are a bit satisfied with the work. This is different from the other two systems. Now let us see the last system explained by Likert, participative group system. So here in this participative group system, high degree of member involvement and participation. So members involve themselves in taking decisions, making decisions. So communication in this kind of system occur both laterally and vertically. That means the communication flow vertically also, that is from top down, from bottom to top, top to bottom, and laterally also. Other different departments also communicate better with each other. Decisions are linked throughout the organization by overlapping group membership. That means different groups, different departments, people will come and they will also interact with other departments and decisions is taken. So throughout the organization, everybody gets involved in whatever problem organization faces. Here, work groups are highly involved in goal setting or setting the goals. They make decisions, they improve methods, they appraise results. So high productivity and satisfaction is ensured in this kind of style, where lot of freedom is given to employees. Lot of members participate and involve themselves in setting the goals, making better decisions, changing some system, changing some methods, improving the process of the organizational every day-to-day activity, and they also support each other by appraising the results. If positive comes, they appraise each other. So this kind of environment is created in this system. And for example, you can take the example of self-managed teams in HR where they manage themselves. So most of the time when they manage themselves, it is more participative in nature because everybody participates in that team. They manage themselves. Nobody will supervise much on those kind of teams. So here what happens? They involve and participate more. So these are the four systems explained by Likert in his Likert's participative management program. So he divided the whole management system into four. So exploitative, authoritative, benevolent authoritative, consultative, and participative group system. So this is Likert's. Now let us move on to what Blake Mountain's grid talks about. So before going into Blake Mountain's grid, let us understand what is grid. Grid is nothing but a square or a rectangle or a graphical representation. So here Blake and Mountain's grid talks about a graphical representation of a management system. So it was proposed by Robert R. Blake and Jane Mountain. These two people proposed this particular grid, also known as Blake Mountain managerial grid or 9x9 matrix. This particular grid or this particular matrix considers two major factors to explain leader's style or management style. So this particular grid will be used for leadership also and management style also. So this particular grid considers two major factors. One is leaders' concern for production or managers' concern for production and concern for people. So if leaders are concerned for production, how they behave, or managers concerned for production, how they behave. If managers or leaders concerned for people, then how they behave. So now let us understand this with a graphical representation. So x-axis talks about concern for production, y-axis talks about concern for people. Now if the concern for production is less, see 1, 1 is less, low, this side it is low, this side it is low, and going on it is high, and going on it is high. So when concern for production is also low and concern for people is also low, in this kind of managerial system, it is called impoverished. Impoverished is nothing but weak management system where nobody is taken care of. No production is not taken care of, and concern for people is also not taken care of. And this is a very weak kind of managerial system. And second one is social club. That is, here concern for people is very high, but concern for production is low. Then it is like a club. So people come and go. People might not work to the fullest potential, but they were taken care of very well. So leaders or managers will give lot of support, benefits, everything to the people, but here the production is not going on well because managers are not insisting on improving the productivity. This kind of leadership style or leadership grid is called social club. Next, 9, 1, where here the leaders or managers care more about production and care very less about people. Here they become taskmasters, where they say either you produce or perish, do or die. So manufacture, you get these things. So they are more focused towards productivity of the employees. They are least bothered about the well-being of the employees. Now 9, 9, which is team. See here leaders more focus on both the aspect. Leaders want their people also to be happy. At the same time, they want the task or production also to run better or go better. Here proper team is created and teamwork can be ensured in this kind of leadership style. And 5, 5, which is mid road, where both concern for production and concern for people is balanced in the sense where they don't give very strong importance to production also, and they don't give very importance to people also. And this particular quadrant or this particular point, people are aiming at, or people want, or leaders or management system wants to go to this particular level, and they are on the way. So that is why we call mid of the road, where they try to balance, they try to have a balance between the production or concern for production and concern for people also. And every organization, management system and leaders want to reach or achieve this particular place where 9,9, where proper team has been created, and based on that they can go further. So this is what managerial grid of Blake Mountains managerial grid is all about. So these two people did lot of research and survey, and they contributed to OD, and they got this particular grid and systems which are implemented even now in many organizations to go further in the organizational development. And these things make people follow certain set of norms, rules and regulations of the organization. And managerial grid especially talks about different types of management system which helps the organization to go further. Thank you for watching the video.